Getting laid off from work makes more than a financial impact. It can affect your mental and emotional health as well. We'll answer your calls on what you can do to preserve your state of mind.
And a massage can do more than relax your tired muscles. Some people say it can also help a baby's development. We'll have that story next on News 10 Midday.
Now, this is News 10 Midday.
Good morning to you. Welcome to News 10 Midday. I'm Alicia Malaby.
And I'm Dana Howard. Here's what we have lined up today. We all know that a massage can feel really, really nice. Babies can benefit as well from that. Marge Jones is here with massage therapy for your little ones.
And getting a pink slip not only hurts your finances, it also causes a lot of emotional turmoil. Financial planner and psychotherapist Peter Cole is here to take your calls and questions.
And award-winning pianist Olga Kern is here to talk about a gold medal performance. She really can put out a number on the piano, that is for sure. And she's going to be here, though, and we're going to talk about that. But first, a look at our top stories for today. We have some very sad news to tell you about, along with our top stories. Maureen Reagan, who is the daughter of former President Ronald Reagan, has died. According to her husband, she died at her Granite Bay home.
Yeah, Reagan had been suffering from malignant melanoma. It had spread to her brain. Maureen Reagan was 60 years old. Now for a look at our other top stories of the day. A heat wave is gripping Northern California. Temperatures above the century mark are expected again today. Air quality is suffering as a result. A Spare the Air Day has been declared. If you can, avoid driving and running your lawnmower. Operators of the state power grid are calling for conservation. For now, power supplies look good, and we should be able to avoid rotating blackouts.
Plans for the Lent Ranch Mall could be on hold now that the state is filing suit against the city of Elk Grove. The state contends the new mall would impact too much of the surrounding farmlands. And it would create a leapfrog style of urban sprawl in the south part of Sacramento County. If built as planned, the mall would spread over 295 acres, cost $500 million, and be larger than Arden Fair Mall.
And if you didn't already know it, new census figures confirm California is an expensive place to live. The Golden State has the second most expensive housing behind Hawaii. California has the most multi-million-dollar homes, and more than 20% of the state's poorest residents spend half their income on housing.
Yeah, a lot of people are getting hit with the high prices of homes these days. And Monica Woods is here to hit us with some weather right now about how hot it is going to be, and I think it is going to hit a few folks, right, Monica?
Yes, indeed. We're expecting highs today once again in the low 100s, already starting to see significant warming throughout much of the valley. Sacramento right now at 79 degrees, a west wind or wind variable at 3 miles per hour, barometer at 29.85, and humidity at 48%. Now some other area temperatures right around 79 for Sacramento, but look at this, Marysville at 87, as well as for Stockton, Modesto at 89 degrees already. Along the bay looking pretty good, 65 in San Francisco. So here's how things shape up for the afternoon. Mostly sunny skies, 104 our afternoon high. That's where we were yesterday, sunset at 8:09. We are going to see some better cooling in the forecast. I'll have that coming up in the next half hour. Alicia and Dana, back to you.
All right, very good, Monica. College graduation is supposed to be an exciting time for students.
But our sluggish economy has some business graduates wondering if they should have chosen a different major. As Lisa Leiter explains, previous job offers are turning into job deferrals.
Some of Kellogg's business school graduates not only left Northwestern with a degree, about 50 of them also left with deferral letters. They managed to find jobs, but employers pushed back their start dates to as late as fall 2002. It's an alarming trend facing graduates nationwide.
This is unprecedented. It's never happened before. Companies have never pulled offers from grads in this kind of way.
So Kellogg's dean on Friday sent an email plea for help to alumni, asking them to consider hiring these students, quote, on a temporary consulting basis. And that, quote, they need to have an income to pay for rent, food, and to begin repaying their loans. Kellogg alum Tim Urquhart received the email but said his company may not be able to help.
It's hard to hire someone knowing they're going to leave in 6 or 9 months.
Jobs of some sort are available, but they might not require a master's degree.
These kids could also do a lot of other things in the interim, and that's important as well. I mean, I certainly, when I graduated from my master's, not my MBA, but when I got my master's, I was willing to wait tables and do all kinds of things, and those jobs are still out there.
The question is whether companies will honor their job offers for somewhat better positions if business doesn't bounce back a few months down the road. Lisa Leiter, Chicago.
A government employment report shows the job cutting may be slowing down. Last month was one of the worst for layoffs in recent history. The number of layoffs planned by businesses jumped 65%, with nearly half in the high-tech industries. Well, getting a pink slip at work can cause a lot of inner turmoil.
Yeah, it does. It causes a person to think about the future and what sort of obstacles are now in store, but all hope is not lost.
Peter Cole is a practicing psychotherapist as well as a financial planner. He's the director of Insight Financial Group Securities, and he's here to take your calls and questions. 441-1010. Thanks for joining us today, Peter.
Great to be here.
First off, how does the layoff unemployment outlook look for Sacramento?
We're not doing too badly here in Sacramento. We're hovering around 4%. New unemployment figures will be coming out on Friday, but we're not doing too bad, not nearly as badly as things are going in the Bay Area. We don't get the kind of spikes that they're getting.
I saw recently a report that says that from January until July of this year, there were 750,000 layoffs in the United States. Is it over?
Well, it isn't over yet.
It seems like there's no more people to cut.
Yes, it's a hard thing to deal with these layoffs, and one of the things that we like to do in Insight Financial Group is to help people cope with the emotional aspects of getting laid off, because most Americans will experience a layoff sometime during the course of their work lives.
It sounds like preparation is the key, and if you are laid off, to take steps to try to get yourself back on the employment rolls.
That's right, Alicia. The first thing that we'd like to advise people to do is don't take it personally. This is a typical, normal part of an American's work life. The second thing is to don't be ashamed to go ahead and apply for unemployment insurance. This is not welfare. It's something that you have paid into the system, and you have every right to it. The third thing that we like to recommend to people is make it your job to be looking for a job, and to be really putting yourself out there. Every day, get up, get dressed, and start your search.
How do you get out of the funk, the depression that goes along with it, though? Because it's hard not to take "we don't want you here anymore" personally,
Yes, it is, Dana. And what we recommend to people is that they normalize it. Understand that this is typical. It's going to happen to every American sometime in their life, at least statistically. And don't take it personally. Just move on and get yourself going every morning. Put one foot in front of the other and get going with actualizing your goals.
Do you find a lot of people don't prepare, say, a rainy day savings account for the times when they are laid off, and that probably adds to the stress?
That's a good question, Alicia. And what we recommend to our clients at Insight Financial Group. Yes, Val?
Yes, my name is Val.
Hi.
And I'm unemployed right now, and I'm dealing with a lot of stress.
Right.
And I don't know where to begin. It's really confusing. I have a home, I have kids, and financially I'm strapped. And I've been putting applications out, and I don't know what to do.
Okay, well, thank you for your call, Val. And you're not alone. Other people are dealing with these kinds of issues at this time because our economy has gone through a bit of a slowdown.
And two, that the stigma of not having a job isn't as serious right now because there has been so much downsizing and layoffs.
It's a normal part of American life to get laid off. And there is not the stigma with getting laid off that there used to be. So again, we recommend to people that you talk with your family about it. You're going to have to cut back on your spending, and you have to let your kids know that now is not the time for the big purchase.
Okay, we have Susie on the line. Go ahead with your question.
Hi, Susie.
Hi. I just got my job back. Actually, I got a new job, and it's a good job, and I'm actually being able to see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Great.
Our bills are up to date and everything, but we have a few bills, especially the car payments, at a real high interest rate.
Yes.
I've been hitting a lot of companies to see if I can get a consolidation loan, but they're telling me that if my bills come up to date, then they'll give me the consolidation loan. Well, I don't need the consolidation loan if the bills are up to date. So it's an endless circle, and I can't seem to get out of the ditch. What do I do?
Okay, well, a lot of people are looking for consolidation loans, second mortgages, and so forth to get rid of that credit card debt. I would recommend that you go ahead and do what you can to get that loan and keep on applying. The longer you have your work history, the more likelihood it is that you're going to get that loan, and it is a very good idea for you.
Very good. Real quickly, if you are laid off, you do need the money, you're strapped, 401k, do you dip into that or leave it alone and do credit cards?
What we recommend is that people talk to their family, talk to your mom, talk to your dad. That's the first place to go. Your 401k, you are going to get an IRS hit for taking those funds. So better to really do it within the family if you can.
All right, and remain hopeful and optimistic. Thanks,
Indeed.
Peter. We appreciate you joining us today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's good to have you here. Well, the slowing economy is a stark contrast to the economic boom of the 90s.
And it appears the benefits of a strong economy are still being seen in non-financial ways. Peter Viles explains how the quality of life for most Americans has improved.
Here's a pep talk for an economy that could use one about now. American consumers enjoyed major gains in their standards of living over the past 10 years. Median household income topped $41,000, up from $30,000 10 years ago. Americans are better educated. 25% have a college degree, up from 20% a decade ago. And they're sitting on big real estate gains. The median home now worth more than $120,000, up from $79,000 10 years ago when many doubted the U.S. economy.
You remember the beginning of the 90s was this whole idea that we needed to emulate Japan or Germany, that we needed to follow other models. And I think actually there's been a kind of return of faith in sort of the American model. That I think is a really big cultural shift, and I think that's one that's probably going to be lasting.
The numbers are an early snapshot of what the census will show, a head start for demographers studying one of the most vibrant periods of American history. 13.3 million immigrants came to the United States in the 90s, a huge increase over the 80s, and given the economy's performance, a pretty good argument in favor of immigration.
I think the key point is the willingness, increased willingness of this society, this economy to embrace immigrants as both a source of supply as well as a source of demand, and puts the U.S. in a very enviable position versus Europe and Japan.
The census also speaks to a great American tradition that is alive and well despite decades of criticism. We're talking about the right to drive to work by yourself. The average daily commute grew longer by nearly 2 minutes as carpooling declined in popularity. 97 million Americans drive themselves to work every day. There are some huge blind spots in the census, though. For example, no questions about computers, about internet usage. So you read through it and you find out that 40,000 homes use solar energy. But there's nothing about the tens of millions of computers that are changing American life. Peter Viles, New York.
Well, massage can do more than work out the kinks of your sore muscles. It may actually improve a person's health.
We'll tell you more about the benefits of infant massage and show you how it's done coming right up.
Get ready for some News 10 fun at the California State Fair. Stop by the News 10 booth and watch us broadcast the weather live every day. Also get a sneak peek behind the scenes at News 10 and see how we do the news. Plus, kids can be an anchor for a day and take their pictures with a News 10 personality. And don't forget to enter to win park hopper tickets for a family of 4 to experience Disney's California Adventure. Look for the red News 10 booth, News 10 and the California State Fair, where big fun comes together.
Taking a look at the stock market this afternoon, it is down on the Dow Jones, 55 points, and on the NASDAQ, down as well, 27 points. Alicia?
Thank you, Dana. Massages are great for relieving stress and tension. They're also good for babies. Marge Jones is a massage therapist. She's here to explain how babies benefit, and she's brought along a real-life specimen. This is Zoe.
Yes.
And she's 7 months old. We also have Zoe's mother, Kim, along. Thanks for joining us today, Marge. And how can babies benefit from massages?
Well, especially with preemies, they will increase their weight about 50% faster. They can benefit because it helps with their digestive system. It helps with colic. It helps with them, with their surroundings. It helps them bond with their parents and caregivers a lot.
Now, if someone at home wanted to do a massage for their baby, what would they do? What would you suggest as far as the strokes and the intensity and how often and how long?
Well, first of all, you start just with a very short massage with the baby, and you can increase the time as you massage the baby. But you can start with long strokes on the legs. You can work on the feet.
And you have some oil, we should say here.
I like to use natural oil.
Apricot baby oil.
Yes,
okay.
Apricot baby oil. And you can also work by massaging the baby's tummy in the clockwise direction so that the baby will digest its food better. You can take its feet and bring it up and down, and it'll get rid of gas, and it helps with colic, and that can really help a crying baby a lot. There's a little valve right between the right hip and the navel. You can work on that little valve. That's the ileocecal valve, and oftentimes when the baby has constipation or diarrhea, that valve will get either stuck open or stuck closed.
Now, it's hard to see what you're doing here.
If you just take your finger and just make a little circle on that valve, you can, the baby has to, the baby has a mind of its own.
Okay,
so.
well, yeah, we all know that. Wait till that baby's 6.
So you have to massage the baby.
Okay, so in between the belly button and the right hip, okay.
Yes, and you can just make little circles there, and that'll help that ileocecal valve open and close normally. And on the other side is a valve of Houston that helps the fecal matter get back into the rectum so it can be expelled from the body. You can also do a little circle on that valve.
Now, how hard should a parent press down?
Not very hard.
Just very softly.
Very softly. You can feel. You can go in and feel the tissue and feel about how hard to press down.
Okay.
You can also go in little circles around the colon, and that'll help the baby digest its food better.
And you had mentioned it helps them gain weight quicker. How is that?
It just helps them become more self-confident, and they've done a lot of research showing that the babies will gain weight 50% faster with massage therapy.
And it sounds like it relieves some of the digestion issues, so they're able maybe to feed more. Now, have you been doing a massage on Zoe?
Yes, since she was born. So it's helpful to meet someone like Marge so that you have all the correct instruction. But it certainly has helped my children with their weight and their digestion.
She's a cutie too. It looks like she likes it as well. Now, what about arms and, say, their face?
You can massage the arms just like the legs. She doesn't particularly like her head done, so I stay away from her head. Some people don't like their feet done, and some people don't like their head done, just like adults. And so they have their own agenda, so you just work on the parts they like to be worked on. You can do the long strokes. You can work on the hands just with your thumb, and she tends to want to be a gripper, so she grips your thumb when you're working on it. You can do friction strokes around the elbow and the wrists.
Now, what about their backs?
Yes, you can turn them over and work on their back the same way, or you can hold them and work on their back and go up and down the spine the same way.
And I would imagine it helps with bonding as well.
Yes, it does.
All right. Well, Marge Jones, thanks for joining us today.
You're welcome.
And also, we appreciate you bringing in Zoe. She is a cutie, 7 months old, almost 8 months, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
She's ready to take off, I would imagine, crawling and walking. Appreciate you joining us today. Dana, back to you.
All right, Alicia, it's always nice to have a baby on the set. It almost makes you want to have another one. Almost. Well, most of us try to do as much as we can during the day, sometimes doing several things at once. But trying to juggle between projects may actually slow you down. A new study shows that multitasking is inefficient and time-consuming. In some cases, the lack of concentration can cause an injury or even death. Multitasking is becoming increasingly popular because of the growth of cell phones and computers. But research shows people get more done when they are able to focus on one task at a time. A competition has changed a young woman's life. The gold medal pianist will tell us about the pressures of competing and about her upcoming performances in Northern California. That's coming up next.
Good midday to you. I am Jennifer Smith, joining you here on Midday today to welcome a very special guest to Sacramento. She is a young pianist, fresh from her gold medal winning performance at the prestigious Van Cliburn International Piano Competition, which is really the Olympics of classical piano. We'd like you to meet Olga Kern. She's 26 years old. She's from Russia. In fact, Olga just flew in from Moscow last night. And now, Olga, with the Van Cliburn, you are on the verge of international stardom in the classical musical world. It's nice to have you with us today.
Thank you very much.
So Olga says her English isn't that good, but I think she speaks very well. So Van Cliburn was this summer, and talk about intense pressure. These are young pianists from all over the world,
yes.
And you had to get up and perform several pieces. What is it like to perform on that level?
It's most difficult competition, this one, because we need to play from classical to contemporary music, and it was 4 rounds, and with orchestra and chamber music, and only 30 pianists, very the best pianists, young pianists from the world. We was in a competition.
Well, let's see. Olga started her piano at the young age of 5. We're going to just stop for a moment and let you listen to some of her performance at the Van Cliburn. Just take a look at her now. That is some of Olga performing the Rachmaninoff Sonata. And the thing about Olga, she is from a very musical family. In fact, your great-great-grandmother sang with Rachmaninoff himself.
Yes.
And also...
She was singer, and my great-great-grandmother was very friendly with Tchaikovsky. She was a pianist, and my generation, my family's generation is very, very big.
Well, how exciting. Now, do you feel a special affinity then for the great Russian composers?
Yes, my favorite composer is Rachmaninoff, and I feel that this something from him when I played especially music of Rachmaninoff.
Yeah, a lot of reviewers talk about your confidence as a performer and that you have this amazing command of the instrument. What did it take to reach that level and just to have that confidence as a performer?
Of course, it's a very difficult way. From 5 years old, I have very good teachers, and I like music very much, and when all my family is musician, and of course I practice all day, and I have man's power.
Yeah, you talk about that. Sometimes you feel like a man when you were playing the piano.
Right, right. Because it's very, very important. Usually, the pianist is man, and it's why for women it's very important to have man's power. And I'm lucky because I have this power, and I feel like a woman.
Oh, yeah.
Helped me a lot.
Well, again, the reviewers say you just are, you have that star quality on stage. You were really looking forward to your performances. You have a 2-year-old son who is already showing an interest in piano?
Yes, he likes music very much, and he showed me how he played on the piano. He touched very soft to the keyboard, and not like me.
Not like
he told me that I play very loud.
Yeah, you do, and it's very exciting too. We have about 40 seconds left, and I want to show you the end of that Rachmaninoff piece just to see how Olga finishes out a piece. So let's take a look at that, and then I'll tell you how you can hear her. Wow, there you go. If you'd like to see and hear Olga Kern, what certainly will be exciting performances, a couple of opportunities. News 10 is proud to help sponsor her appearances. She'll be performing at the Bear Valley Music Festival this Friday night and again Sunday afternoon. Bear Valley is in the Sierra east of Stockton. Now, if you can't make it up to the mountains, Olga will also be playing this coming Monday night at the Sacramento Community Center Theater. It's called a Classical Fanfare. It's a benefit to support music in our schools. You can call the Community Center box office for tickets. There's the number, 264-5181. Also, a lot of information on our website. And Olga, you'll be playing Rachmaninoff too here in Sacramento. So great to have you here, and welcome to Sacramento. Looking forward to hearing your performances. Thank you, Olga Kern. Back to you, Dana and Alicia.
Incredible. Thank you, Jennifer.
Wasn't that spectacular stuff? Well, the housing squeeze is putting a pinch on wallets. California living is coming at a high price.
And for the second day in a row, the Valley is expected to reach triple digits. We'll have more on the heat and our power outlook.
News 10's new Air 10. Cool. And now, this is News 10 Midday.
Thanks for joining us for the second half of News 10 Midday. I'm Dana Howard.
And I'm Alicia Malaby. Get ready for another hot one. The temperature is expected to climb over 100 degrees today. News 10's Jane McCarthy is live in downtown Sacramento with more about the heat and our poor air quality. Jane?
Alicia, it's already getting pretty toasty out here. It's supposed to reach a high of 104 degrees today. That's about 10 degrees above what's normal. But good news, we are holding the line on power, so we shouldn't be seeing any blackouts today. That's little consolation for these guys. David Reed and Greg Romo, they are city maintenance workers, and today just happens to be the day they have to get out there and mow those lawns. They say there's very little shade for them to find. When it reaches 104 degrees to them, they say it feels like 115, especially when those pesky lawnmowers decide not to start.
see when the mowers don't start. It gets a little hectic when the mowers don't start and it's dead in the middle of the heat. That makes your temperature rise a little more.
I don't know. I pulled it like a good 15 times. I don't know. Too many times. It's just really hot out here. Maybe it's just asking for water. It's so hot.
It is also a spare the air day. The air quality is forecast to be unhealthy for sensitive groups, and it's hovering right around the level where it's unhealthy for everyone. So if you can, you need to try to limit how much time you spend outdoors. Try to limit your driving and mowing the lawn, but they can't do that today. So I think the request to not spend too much time outdoors is not a big problem. And as you can see, if Bill can take a look here, I'm supposed to look all cool and like I'm not hot. I have these reflectors on me, which not only make you blind, it feels like it's 120. So if you want to be in the TV business, be an anchor like you, Alicia.
But we got the lights. We do have the air conditioning, though.
Yes.
Thanks a lot, Jane.
You bet.
Well, the heat wave is not limited to California. It's gripping the entire nation. In rural Minnesota, where the heat index topped 117 degrees, farmers have been hosing down their livestock. The heat index was over 110 degrees across much of the Midwest. In Philadelphia, students were sent home early because classrooms did not have any air conditioning. And still, the heat continued up in New York. The public swimming pools there are staying open later. Meanwhile, in Washington, D.C., police are handing out bottled water because the heat can be deadly. Around Chicago this summer, 2 people have died from problems caused by the heat.
Well, let's get a look at how hot things are going to be getting today. Monica Woods has a look at our forecast. Hi, Monica.
Hello, and yes, we're warming up quickly as we head towards the afternoon hours. We have clear skies outside right now. Let's take a look at some current readings. Right now in Sacramento, we have a temperature of 86 degrees, a light wind. Roseville at 93 degrees, a south wind at 5 miles per hour. Stockton at 90 degrees with a calm wind. 91 degrees for Modesto under sunny skies. Elk Grove at 86 degrees. In Placerville, it's already 96 degrees and 94 for Auburn. For the last couple of days, we continue to see those temperatures rise. Yesterday's high, 104. Today, I'm predicting again 104. Satellite and radar image across the west. You can see the clear skies throughout the valley, but those clouds are going to build over the Sierra. So I'll have that fire forecast, which does include the chance for some isolated afternoon thunder showers. I'll have all that and the 7-day forecast coming up. Dana and Alicia, back to you.
All right, Monica. Some sad news to report. The daughter of former President Ronald Reagan has lost her battle to cancer. Reagan was diagnosed with melanoma in 1996. Surgeons discovered a malignant tumor in her pelvis and removed all the lymph nodes in her right thigh. Then last fall, tests discovered 2 brain tumors. Reagan underwent chemotherapy, but the malignant melanoma had advanced too far. She died in her home in Granite Bay this morning. Maureen Reagan was 60 years old.
Well, as many of you already know, finding affordable housing isn't easy in California. In fact, the Golden State has the second most expensive housing in the country. According to the 2000 census, the median price for a home in California is $215,000. Hawaii has the most expensive housing with a median price of $284,000. The high prices aren't easy on everyone. More than 20% of the state's poorest residents spend half their income on housing.
The state of California has joined in the battle over a proposed shopping mall in Elk Grove. In a rare move, the State Department of Conservation is suing a local government over what it claims is inadequate planning for the Lent Ranch project. News 10's George Warren joins us live from the Conservation Department headquarters with more on that. George?
Good morning, Dana. The Conservation Department claims the city of Elk Grove did not adequately address environmental concerns like traffic and safety and the effect of urban sprawl on adjacent farmland in southern Sacramento County. The Lent Ranch development would create a shopping center roughly the size of Arden Fair Mall on the city's southern boundary. Before Elk Grove Incorporated, the County Planning Commission vetoed the project, but then the brand new city of Elk Grove approved it. The Conservation Department is worried about leapfrog development and dwindling farmland in southern Sacramento County. Now, this is the second lawsuit facing the Lent Ranch developers. Last month, an environmental group with backing from owners of Sacramento's downtown plaza filed suit. We are hoping for some comment from the State Department of Conservation, but right now all the officials are in a strategy meeting. Live in downtown Sacramento, George Warren, News 10.
All right, George, the debate over that mall just doesn't seem to stop. All right, thank you.
The lawyer for convicted killer Cary Stayner wants the trial moved out of Mariposa County. Stayner is accused of killing 3 tourists at Yosemite National Park. The attorney for the convicted killer says a fair trial will be impossible after extensive media coverage on the murders. A hearing on the change of venue request is set for September 10th.
The mother accused of drowning her 5 children entered an innocent plea today. Andrea Yates pleaded innocent by reason of insanity in a Texas courtroom. Police say Yates called them to her home in June, where they found the bodies of her 5 children. Her husband says she was suffering from postpartum depression. Prosecutors say Yates is competent to stand trial. The woman's attorney has requested a competency hearing in 2 weeks.
California ranks as one of the top states gay couples call home. According to the 2000 census, California and Vermont have the highest percentage of same-sex couples. The numbers also show there are more than 1 million gay couples living in the United States. This is the first time the country has recorded the number of homosexuals living in the U.S., but it doesn't reflect the entire population. Single men and women weren't able to identify their sexual orientation. Violence among domestic partners has sharply increased in the last year. A new study shows nationally there were more than 4,000 reports of domestic violence among lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender couples last year. That is up 29%. In San Francisco, there were nearly 700 cases of same-sex violence.
Plans to expand San Francisco International Airport are being downsized. Airport officials say they are looking to scale back plans to fill in a portion of the bay to build a runway. Instead of 1,300 acres, officials are considering now filling in 500 to 800 acres with dirt. Environmentalists still aren't happy with the idea. They claim it will cause damage to the bay and harm the animals living in the water. An undercover sting puts an end to crimes against children. I'll tell you more about that investigation that shut down one of the largest child pornography websites.
And Modesto police officers need your help in finding a suspect who robbed a gas station. He was caught on tape. We'll show you coming up next.
News 10 and the Sacramento River Cats invite you to go berserk. Come to Rayleigh Field and see great baseball action and enjoy the zany antics of Berserk, the costumed comic who makes appearances in ballparks everywhere. It's the Sacramento River Cats versus the New Orleans Zephyrs with entertainment by Berserk. Bring the whole family. Friday, August 17th at 7 p.m. at Rayleigh Field. Get your tickets today. Visit news10.net for more information.
A look at stocks this hour. The Dow Jones is down 93 points, and the NASDAQ is down as well, 40 points.
A bold robbery is caught on videotape. Now Modesto police need your help in finding the man who robbed a gas station and possibly other stores. News 10's Cornell Bernard has more on the suspect police are looking for.
This Modesto gas station, the latest target of an armed robber who brazenly struck Tuesday night.
So this guy seems pretty desperate. Well, you saw the video.
The crime caught on tape. It begins when the suspect walks in and asks to buy cigarettes, then quickly pulls a gun, demanding money. The clerk complies, handing over the cash tray. The suspect grabs the money and runs, but suddenly stops, and for some unknown reason, fires the gun.
The suspect fired one round, struck the counter between where the clerk and the suspect were standing.
The bullet still lodged in the gas station counter. The clerk, who later calls 911 in the tape, was not hurt. Police believe shortly before this robbery, the same suspect hit this shoe store down the street, armed with a pair of scissors. Authorities believe the same man could be responsible for at least 5 other recent robberies in Modesto. They hope someone knows who he is.
If he's going from scissors to a handgun and he's firing the weapon during the robbery, when the victim seemed to be complying the whole time with the demands, that's desperate. That's somebody we want to catch.
Cornell Bernard, News 10.
And if you recognize the man from the videotape, you're urged to call the Modesto Police Department. Police say the suspect got away in a new gold-colored 4-door Nissan with temporary license plates with the letter Z appearing on the plate.
A couple of children enjoying an afternoon of fun make a shocking discovery in Rockland. A body was discovered yesterday afternoon in a quarry at Rockland Road and Granite Drive. The Placer County Sheriff's dive team retrieved the body. The coroner has not determined the cause of death. Detectives are searching through missing persons files to try to determine the identity.
After 2 months of deadly violence, extra police patrols are keeping an eye out for Asian gangs. Police officers say